Meteorologist Sean Sublett from the Richmond Times-Dispatch with the tropical update for this midday Friday timeframe. We still have Tropical Storm Fiona just eastward from the Caribbean Sea and remaining at tropical storm status. Now, early this morning, hurricane reconnaissance aircraft was down in the storm, sampling the environment there, so we know it's still a tropical storm, not reaching hurricane status. But over these next 3 to 4 days, we do expect it to go into the northern Caribbean Sea, crossing those islands called the Lesser Antilles, just kind of brushing the south side of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and then curving back to the north across Hispaniola and ultimately to the southern Bahamas by the early to middle parts of next week. Now, although it's not going to strengthen very quickly, we do expect a very slow strengthening to take shape and likely become a Category 1 hurricane by around, let's say, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Remember, hurricane means the winds, the sustained winds at some part of the storm are at 75 miles per hour. Doesn't mean it's all 75 miles per hour, but there is going to be at least some location within the storm that does have a sustained 75 mile an hour wind. Once we get past Wednesday is when I think we need to look at it more closely for Virginia and the Carolina coastline, because once we get past Wednesday and Thursday, there are still a lot of options as to whether or not it's going to continue northward, head back out to sea, or possibly hook back toward the coastline. Right now, we think hooking back to the coastline is not the most likely scenario, but it's just not one that can be ruled out, at least not just yet. Let's go in a little more closely. I want to take a look at the specific form or the shape of the storm for time being. There we go. So there's San Juan, Puerto Rico. These are the Lesser Antilles. Virgin Islands are up this way. So here's the storm itself. One of the things to note is that you could see the curvature of these clouds, which is very consistent with what we know about a tropical system, but all the brighter white clouds, which is where all the rain is coming down, is on the eastern side of the storm. So this means it's still not quite as organized as we would, I say, like to see before it becomes a true full-fledged hurricane or begins to undergo some more rapid strengthening. But this does tell us that the structure is kind of in place for some strengthening if a couple more things come together, which we do expect in the next 2, 3, 4 days, as there's a little more moisture that's expected to move into the middle levels of the atmosphere. A slowdown in the forward speed will allow it to organize a little bit better. So again, rapid strengthening, not expected. This is not anything you need to worry about for the weekend or the first day or two of next week. But again, as we get into the middle part of next week, it is something that's going to need to be monitored much more closely for Virginia and the Carolinas. There's the track forecast, the official one for the National Hurricane Center, again, as a Category 1 hurricane entering the Bahamas toward Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Hey, this reminder, you can get our videos for free by streaming them on the Virginia Video Network app. Get it on the App Store and Google Play or on your big screen, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Hope you all have a safe weekend.